You found the neighborhood. You love the floor plan. You can already picture pulling into that driveway. Then the lender pulls your credit. And just like that, the dream is on hold. Bad credit doesn't just sting, it stops everything. And nobody tells you what to do next. Until now. Welcome to the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast, where we sit down with real builders across Texas so you know exactly what's out there waiting for you. Let's go get your home.
Welcome to the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast. I'm your host, Marco. And if this is your first time here, and it should be because this is actually our first episode of this Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast, so it's pretty exciting. But this show is actually built around one idea. There are people in San Antonio and in Texas, for that matter, sitting on the sidelines right now who could be in a brand new home and they just don't know it yet. The Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club is a program designed for buyers who get told no, or who already know that the credit isn't where it needs to be. We get you purchase ready. We match you with the right builder in your price range, and we structure the deal so that you're not coming out of pocket to make it happen. You end up in a new home, and that's it. That's the whole mission. And this podcast is how we pull back the curtain, because most buyers have no idea what builders are actually offering right now. The incentives, the rate buy downs, the move-in packages, that stuff is real, and it doesn't always get advertised the way that it should. So every episode, I'm bringing a builder to the table, and I'm letting them tell you exactly what they've got. Today, that is Richard Reyna with Joseph Creek Homes, a family-owned builder right here in San Antonio that is doing some things worth paying attention to. So Richard, welcome to the very first Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast. And you know what? Is this your first podcast you've ever done?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You got me fired.
Oh my God. So here, I got to give this plug for Richard. Richard is a 16-year radio veteran. In another life, Richard was on the radio. He was actually on Catholic radio. He makes no qualms about that. He's very upfront about that. He wears his sleeve, his heart on his sleeve, and the cross on his chest. And so, I think that's a really cool thing that I wanted to kind of highlight about you, is that this is not like something that you're completely unfamiliar with, is this concept of wearing the headphones, right, having a microphone. It's just a different setup. And instead of you being in the studio, I brought the studio to you.
Yeah, I'm loving this.
Right here in the model home. So this is a key feature of the Credit Confidence Home Buyers Club podcast. These are always going to be in the communities. We are recording these literally at the model home. So you may or may not be able to tell by looking here, but you know, you can see a little bit of the background, but we're in a beautiful house. We're in, what town is this?
This is in Schertz.
This is in Schertz, Texas. And what is the name of this community? Let's start with that, Richard.
Rhine Valley.
Rhine Valley and Schertz, Texas.
It's real close to Joint Base San Antonio Randolph.
Okay. So if you are one of those that happens to be stationed there, or you work in or around Joint Base San Antonio Randolph, right?
Yes.
Is a key thing. This is the community for you. Most likely, right? This is the community for you. Now, let's start with this, Richard. Tell me first and foremost a little bit about Joseph Creek Homes. We don't need to go on a hardcore backstory, but give us the brief. But more than that, I'm more curious. Why did you choose?
Oh, it's funny how
to work here.
Again, I'll probably say this part multiple times during the interview, but if you know anything about me, I do my best to follow God's will.
Okay.
I preach that.
I know that about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I tell
happen
you
to
that all
know
the time.
Yeah.
And, back when Joseph Creek Homes got its name, they had the creek and the homes, but they were still missing something. And owners, Dave Matlock and Patrick Thompson, were at one of our benefit dinners for Catholic Radio back in the day.
Okay.
And they won an image of St. Joseph from
wow.
us. And I presented it to them, and I didn't know until actually recently that they went into the office the next day. They put it up in the office, that image, and they went, "Oh, we got the name.
Nice.
Joseph.
Nice.
Oh, named after St. Joseph.
Providential.
Yeah.
Completely providential.
I love
Yeah.
that part of it.
Wow.
I was actually going to start off to say, I'm going to pause right there. You just with your intro alone, you got me fired up. I wish I was in the home buying mode, because I'd be like, okay, what do you got?
That's right.
I'm all over that.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. And on that note, I just have to throw this in. there are an unbelievable amount of incentives that are available when you're buying new construction. You will not find that if you're buying retail, if you're buying an existing home. This is where the gold lies. And something tells me that out of all the builders that are in this city, in San Antonio and surrounding areas, Richard Reyna happens to think that Joseph Creek has the better offers for one reason or another.
Yeah, it's funny you say that.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Hindsight's 2020. You know, I'm going to say a little bit before that. Before I was at Joseph Creek Homes, I was with another organization, another company.
Okay.
That their job was to go out and develop relationships with new home builders.
Okay.
And they said, Reyna, go find somebody. I'm like, cool. I went straight to Joseph Creek Homes.
Okay.
And I said, hey, whenever you have issues in the building phase of your homes, you call us.
Sure.
We'll take care of it. We'll clean it all up. You can keep building. The response was, we don't have those kinds of issues. Okay. How about once it's built, the warranty issues? You want to keep building? You have an issue show up? Call us.
Yeah.
He's like, no, we don't have those kinds of things. It's just that thing. And at that point, builders all over San Antonio were calling the organization I was with, and we were just rocking and rolling. But I understood that the quality of a Joseph Creek home is a cut above the rest.
Sure.
And in fact, they even took me to one of the homes and said, look, Richard, look at this right here. And he showed me 4 studs stuck together. And then between those 4 studs, there was foam. And I'm like, well, I didn't know anybody. What's that for?
Sure.
And the response was, we want an airtight home. We want to control the air and the water and everything that comes in and out of this home. But that's the way it's supposed to be. And I was blown away, and I could tell that the quality of the homes is a cut above the rest, because I didn't hear that anywhere else.
Sure.
So that's what's drawn me here.
That's impressive. Yeah. Now, you were drawn to the quality, right? Yeah. But what was a little bit more so? I mean, I kind of know this, but I want you to kind of talk about it. Like, what was it that drew you to Joseph Creek Homes from your personal point of view? Why did you like it? Was it just because of the St. Joseph story?
No,
did that close the deal for you?
Of course, I was invited to come out here.
Okay.
And, at that time, I was looking for something more meaningful. And man, when it comes to buying a home, that's one thing that I've really learned. Yeah. That, somebody's about to buy and make the one of the largest purchases that they've ever made in their entire lives. Sure. And I love the relationship part of it. I love to walk with people, accompany people, if you want to say it that way. Sure. Through this process, so they can find somebody that they can trust. Trustworthiness is big for me. Somebody that they can relate to, they can ask questions, somebody who's new at it. I mean, I was new, and I could walk with them and ask the questions and answer the questions in terms that they could really, really understand. Yeah. Of course, every once in a while, you have a professional home buyer, come through and they know all the questions to ask. Sure. Yeah. But still, the majority of them are buying their first. That's right. Home. Yep. And it's a big investment. It is. And it can be intimidating, and it can be scary. Right. Right. So they need someone that can guide them and hold their hand. And you know who it's especially scary for? People that have had life happen to them by, hitting them with a cutback in hours, or maybe they lost their job, or maybe there was a divorce, or maybe, the list of things go down. And a lot of times the collateral damage in those situations is their credit. And so it starts to bring their confidence down. This is why we call this program Credit Confidence. We want to build that back up. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I would love to buy a new home, I would love to talk to Richard Reyna at Joseph Creek Homes in Schertz, Texas, right? Yeah. Very good. But you're like, I can't, my credit's bad. What's your message for them? Should they just stay on the couch and be depressed? Or should they come and talk to you and talk to us and at least start the process and see if maybe we can get them to the promised land? And it's not maybe. I believe you can. From what you've shown me, the difference you've made in a lot of people's lives is you, of course, have increased their credit score, which makes it. I didn't realize how big of a difference it makes. It's huge. Goodness. It's huge. During when you're calculating the payments and with the lender and all that good stuff, your credit really makes a difference. And sometimes it's, not right now, but let's work on it, and we can get it down, and we can raise your credit and do all these things that need to take place for them to feel secure. That's right. Happy. That's right. No anxiety about the purchase that they're about to make, and they can go into their home. Heck yeah. With their families and all full of love and joy and all that good stuff. That's exactly right. Richard, so let's talk a little bit about the houses itself, right? Okay. Joseph Creek Homes has homes all over the city, right? There's a few builders, and you're kind of on this side of the earth.
There's homes in Castroville, which are like the other side of the earth. But this is your community. This is where you're working right now. Let's start here. This is a beautiful home, by the way. When I walked in, I noticed that it's a very open floor plan. You've got the big giant kitchen island here, of course, with the beautiful kind of granite looking countertops, right? What's the square footage of this particular home?
Okay, this one's 2,608 square feet.
2,600. Now, my mind is blown with that number. Because my whole entire life, I've known Rayco homes, which ended up being KB homes and, that kind of thing. And guess what? 2,600 always felt small. This does not feel small. This feels huge. It feels open. I can see the game room upstairs. Of course, the ceiling goes all the way up, So it's a cool floor plan in this house, right? Talk to me a little bit more so about like a home like this. What kind of a price range are we looking at in this community here? And then let's start talking about what are maybe like the standard features.
Well, actually, I'll share with you. We have I'm going to call it replacement plan.
Okay.
That's practically the same house.
Okay.
It's about 150, 160, 170 square feet more. And the price point, the starting point for that home is $439. Okay. $999.
Okay.
And it's funny you mentioned how big this feels. If we had the opportunity to take this camera and go to my 1,700 square foot home, which of course is less square footage, but you walk into it, every single person I've taken to that home, and we're in the building process of that home.
Okay.
Every person has said, "Wait a minute. This is 1,700 square feet." I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you.
And that's a one story?
It's a one story.
Wow.
We start off at 1,700 and then go all the way up to 3,030 or 50 square feet.
Okay. So in this community, that 1,700 one story is your kind of entry level home?
Yes.
Okay. But you're telling me it doesn't feel entry level.
It doesn't.
It feels big. It feels like a castle.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
To whoever's living in it, right? Yes. I bet. Okay, so where would something like that one start?
That one is 358 is what we're asking for that one. We're actually building two that'll be done mid-July. The other one's 364, minor elevation issues and changes and so forth.
Sure. Now, if you haven't noticed, if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this podcast on YouTube and you're not completely aware of this, yes, the house prices have gone up a little bit since COVID, basically, right? So they're not as low as what it used to be. But that doesn't mean that home ownership is out of reach. It doesn't mean that you can't get them to a comfortable monthly payment. Right. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Or am I just kind of leading people on here? What do you think?
No. We actually have a great relationship with our lender. And it's funny, on that side, I'm not as familiar with that side.
Sure.
Although I love numbers, it really is. And I've learned that, at some situations, it is actually better to raise the price a little bit and use that money to buy down the rate, and it will lower your monthly payment. And I'm like, how does that work? But man, it's amazing what the lenders can do. So
absolutely. Yeah.
It is. But
let me just add this part. I think this is the big one. And we're going to be jumping around. Like right now we're talking about some of the financing and things, and then we talk about the incentives, and that's just the way it goes. And that's the cool thing about podcasts. We can do whatever we want, right?
Yes, we can.
It's our show today. But I wanted to just kind of get to this point. I found out that new construction typically offers rate buy downs and things like that. You typically get a lower interest rate compared to if you were to go and just buy an existing home. Is that also true, or is that a made up
That's
myth?
what I'm saying. To me, I relate to buying a vehicle. Sounds like a similar situation. It's new.
Yeah.
You get a better rate. That's great. Here we see that, and then buying it down even lower. I think we've had 2-1 rate buy downs where for the first year, one way, the last time we did it, we had 5.99 interest rate.
Okay.
But for the first year, it's 3.99. The second year, it's 4.99, and then 5.99 for the rest.
So you get to ease into it, right? You don't just get beat over the head with this new payment right away.
Yeah, and that big difference from the 5.99 to the 3.99 was like $500 a month difference. I'm like, whoa! I'm telling you, that stuff just blew me away.
Sure.
Some people who don't understand, it may sound like we're trying to pull the wool over their eyes. No. That's why I started off with saying 5.99, boom. Yeah. But yet first year, second year, it's lower. Like, it's not an arm. It doesn't go like this over and over and over.
Sure.
No, it's just. It's a good way to do it.
Wow, that is freaking awesome. And I have to say, that's motivating, because if I'm looking at gas prices were just sky high. Thank God they've come down a little bit. We're recording this summer, right? On probably, I think, the hottest day of the entire year today. It's insane outside. But anyways, gas prices are now a little bit better, but groceries are still high. Basically, everything is sky high right now compared to what we kind of knew it as before. But we want to emphasize this. The new home builders like Joseph Creek Homes have figured out ways to offer very generous incentives to make the process affordable. Everybody else is going to be paying a lot more money for their home. You guys are offering something that is affordable. It's also very energy efficient, right? When you buy a brand new home, you know, when you buy a brand new home, new construction, and that kind of goes back to your original statement when you looked at when they kind of showed you the bones of the house, right? It looked like it was extra, like they went above and beyond, right? And those things, what does that look like in the end result? It looks like more energy efficiency,
right?
What does that translate to where it actually matters to me? My monthly energy bill is low.
Yep.
Right?
More money in your pocket.
More money in my pocket. Right. So talk to me a little bit more about, are there any other design features or benefits of Joseph Creek Homes as kind of a standard thing, or at least maybe in this community here where you're at?
We on the outside, you'll see it on different homes. The sheathing, what they use on the outside. We use the Huber zip system, which we believe is the best that's out there right now.
What the heck is that? What language are you even speaking?
So when you're seeing homes being built, sometimes you see some green plywood on the outside. Sometimes you see white. Sometimes you see blue. Sometimes you see that envelope stuff called Tyvek. Okay. We don't believe in the other stuff. The Huber zip system. Look up the stats. It's great stuff, and we use it.
Every house has it.
Every Joseph Creek home has it. Yes. So definitely, it's structurally and air and watertight.
So this is another energy efficient thing.
Yes.
Right, but it's also like, you know, your house is going to last.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
And it helps it for strain, for shearing, you name it. Again, like water and air. We want to keep the water and the air outside the house.
I see.
Hardy plank, of course, the Hardy plank's been out there for a while. We use it. We love it. And, one of the things that we do a little extra, a little bit of a short story, the first week I was here, we did an inspection for one of the homes that had just sold. And I said, hey, inspector, can I tag along? I'm new. I want to see what you do.
Yeah.
And he walked over there, and the first thing he did was looked at the Hardy plank and said, there's supposed to be caulk in there. I'm going to have to gig you for that. I'm like, huh?
Oh.
So I went over to the side, texted my boss, asked him a quick question about that. And within minutes, he replied back, show the inspector this. I showed it to him. It was Huber's, Hardy Plank's website, and it said, do not put caulking between the joints because they expand and contract, and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look pretty. They're made to be that way, and it's a concrete infused fiber, so it doesn't do that much. But behind every single joint, when we're putting this Hardy Plank on the walls, we put a 12-inch piece of metal. To if any water does get through, it's not going to destroy that. We go the extra mile to make sure we keep that water out, that extra air out. And I love that.
I love that. That's a great story. But what we've been talking about this whole time probably appeals more to the husband. Let's appeal to the wife now. Okay. Tell me some things about the interior. Because this is the aesthetic part. This is what the women notice when they walk in, so that when they know that their friends are going to come over for a gathering, they want to be able to have something that's nice and presentable, right?
Amen.
And I think one of the areas that they love to feature and showcase is entertaining the kitchen. It's beautiful. Again, this house has a gargantuan island. Over here on this side is the sink, but then over here is like bar stools, kind of a thing, right? And then I'm seeing you've got the oven with the microwave above it. So like, are these countertops? Are these upgrades? Are these standard? Like, how does that work?
So these countertops are standards.
Wow.
You can go thicker. You can go different. We got granite. We've got marble. We've got.
What is this material here?
I believe this is granite.
That is granite. So you're telling me that's a standard feature now?
Yes.
Wow.
And then quartz is coming on, and quartzite. I think I'm saying that right.
That's popular too.
Yes, it is. But it's funny you said, speak to the wives, speak to the women. Every single 99% of the women that come through here.
There you go.
They go to the laundry room. And they go, why? Because they see a sink.
I see.
One lady told me she was moving out of her home because they promised her a sink and didn't put it in for 4 years. And she's like, I'm done with them. But you all offer that? Like, yep, we offer it. It makes a difference. And they love the washroom. It's a good size. It's got great area to do everything that needs to take place in the laundry room.
Sure, yeah. By the way, if you haven't noticed yet, when this video is live on YouTube and on our website, you're going to see some of the stuff because we're going to make sure that we show some of this. I'm going to record this beautiful sink. You'll see that. And some of these cool features of the home that you were mentioning. But yeah, I mean, who doesn't want a sink in their laundry room? Like growing up, that was not really a thing.
Right.
So that's a big luxury.
Yeah, we had to use the board and rub the clothes. Like, oh no, you didn't do that. Okay, you're young. That's right. I forgot about
No,
that.
I have no clue what you're even talking about, Richard. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Okay, what about cabinets? I'm looking at an enormous cabinet up here in the kitchen.
Yep, 42-inch cabinets,
Yeah, it's
uppers.
huge.
They're great cabinets. We also offer as an upgrade. You know, you can go all the way up to the ceiling.
Okay, sure.
With the ones.
But that's already huge.
Yes,
you don't
it
need
is.
to go because you still got to put all your trinkets up there on the top, anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Trinkets.
So it can get a little bit dusty up there, but it looks good. You know?
Yes, it does. Yes,
okay.
it does.
So big cabinets are included. What about the pantry? Are they all like that walk-in, big giant closet?
They are. So one of the things I'll tell you is, you know, I'm not sure if I say this the right way, but we're a custom home builder that builds production homes.
Okay.
In that, what I mean simply is we have got our plans, and you can go with our plan as is and do some upgrades, or you can modify our plan.
Okay.
Or we can build total custom.
Okay.
If you have your own land, we will do the same thing. We'll come up, we'll build one of our plans, we'll adjust one of our plans, or we'll build total custom. And the reason I say that is I just thought that was a norm. And in the beginning, people were coming through and they would ask me literally, can we extend this huge island like 6 more inches? I'm like, I'm sure we could work through it and make that happen. Really? I'm like,
no,
yeah.
Most builders don't do that.
I didn't know that.
They don't accommodate that.
Yeah, they said, nope.
This is what we've got.
Yep. So
you gotta live with it.
Yes, and that's not the Joseph Creek way.
So Joseph Creek will adjust things quite a bit and customize, and then even just pick up this whole thing and go build it in your own.
You got it.
On your own acreage.
You got it.
A lot of builders won't even do that.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm hearing from you, Richard, is that smaller builder, family owned. This is not some nationwide gargantuan corporation, right? So the trade-off here is you're going to get a more custom options. You're going to get a different experience because it's a smaller
and it's family owned. And the way I love to say it is, you know, when you build a Joseph Creek home, when you enjoy this process, it's like a family member built it for you.
Wow, I like
that. If you had a builder in the family. There you go.
Sure.
Great way to say it.
Now, you have a strong Facebook presence, Richard, because you've been on the radio for a long time. Yeah, you do. I'm here to tell you you do. Okay. Yeah, from a younger guy, I'm telling you, you have a nice you have a very nice following. And I know that it just happens to be that the majority of the people that follow you are Catholic.
Yep.
And so let's send a special message to those listeners. This is a Catholic-owned company. You mentioned earlier that they were at one of your events.
Yes.
They won that award. The people that family own this, what I really like is when I walk in, there's a huge photo.
And it's 5 years old. And there's
so there's probably more.
Yes, there's 24 grandkids in this, and the father-in-law, son-in-law has 8 of those kids. He's got a third of those. 5 years ago.
That's amazing.
So there's more now.
And I love seeing stuff like that. The moment you walk in, you just see a bunch of children. You see a bunch of happy children, which is the antithesis to what we see today. So if that's your thing and you love that, and that's something you can get behind, you absolutely need to talk to Richard Reyna. With Joseph Creek Homes. Absolutely, right? No question about that.
JosephCreekHomes.com.
JosephCreekHomes.com. Yeah. No, all that's going to be in the show notes.
Okay, good.
So we have that part. We have that part for sure. And we'll probably put your phone number.
Of course.
We'll probably put your phone number. We've got about 5 minutes left, Richard, before we wind down, because we try to keep these episodes about 30 minutes or so, because people have things to do. They got to get back to their TikToks and their reels and getting sucked into, you know, all of the crazy nonsense. Hopefully not. Hopefully not too bad anyways. At least you're using your time wisely by listening to us, right? Okay, so let's talk again about the not yet ready buyer. All right.
Okay.
So what happens when someone comes in, they fall in love with the home, but their credit isn't quite there yet? Is there a way to hold some sort of a spot or a plan for a future home? And do you ever work with buyers who are maybe 3, 6, or even 12 months out?
I believe we have. We do. We understand that's out there. And wonderful companies, organizations like yours that help people build their credit and get it back to where it needs to be exist for that purpose. So, you know, we have you can pay a premium amount down, or a small amount, I should say, to hold your lot. Till you get all that stuff taken care of. And it's great when people do and they step forward like, we're ready, and you can just see the excitement in their face.
Sure.
Which in my perspective won't compare to the excitement when we hand them over the keys and they walk into their home. Just picture that alone. Man.
Now, earlier, before we started recording, you said that there was some sort of like flex money.
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about there, and
I'll
how
give you an
much?
example. We've got two 1,700 square foot homes that are due to be completed mid-July, a little less than a month. On those two homes right now, we've got $20,000 in, I'm going to say, flex cash.
How much is it?
$20,000.
20 grand.
20,000.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, 20,000.
Now, does that go a long way today in today's market? What can you do with
well,
that?
you can use it to buy your interest rate down.
Okay. All right.
or if it gets down low enough because you've already got good credit and you want to use it towards closing costs.
Oh,
great,
okay.
that's fine. A middle
Even
combination of both. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That's a great way to use it.
That is phenomenal. Now, I do have to mention something on that note. The Credit Confidence Homebuyers Club is designed to also have a realtor as part of the package.
Oh.
So if you don't already have a realtor, then we will find one. And the reason why we do that is because, first of all, as honest and amazing as Richard is, you should still have a representative in your corner as well from on your side of the equation. But best of all the realtors that work with us are required to give a buyer rebate. Oh. And as part of that buyer rebate, they are going to reimburse you for any and all credit repair costs.
Wow.
So basically, whatever you're investing, we do want you have to put the money up front. We need skin in the game. We need to see that you're serious, right? That's how the home buying process works. But if you do your part, we're going to do ours. Richard's going to come in with his $20,000 flex cash, and he's going to hook you up with all kinds of other goodies, and you might even be able to do a rate buy down and all kinds of stuff. We're going to make sure that the credit is reimbursed, and then the realtor will also contribute additional monies as well, because that's going to go beyond the coverage of the credit repair. That's actually the smallest thing compared to all the goodies that you'll receive. So this is for people that are listening that don't have a realtor, they haven't talked to anybody yet. We're going to connect you with everybody so that you get maximum benefits.
Amen.
Right? And so we want to make sure that you're taken care of all the way around. And then Richard's going to kind of also reach out to you, and he'll do some hand holding. Now, I always throw this out there. If you happen to come across this video and you have great credit, still call Richard, right?
Yeah,
we're really just trying to make sure that everyone knows that there's opportunity here. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Talk to us, right? Talk to myself, talk to Richard. We'll answer questions. We've got some time. We absolutely have time to talk to you. It's a little quiet sometimes here during the weekdays with Richard, so he'll talk to you also. And we want to be able to make you feel confident again. But if you're already ready to go and you like what you hear, call Richard directly.
Yes.
Call Richard directly, and he will make sure he gets it all done. What's the phone number to reach you, Richard?
726-231-2669.
That is amazing. And again, what is the address here at this particular community?
It is 10106 Mulhouse Drive.
Okay.
And here in Schertz.
And here in Schertz, Texas. Yes. All right. Richard, this was great, and I honest to God mean that. I hope you enjoyed your very first podcast. I'm just blown away that all this time you spent on radio, but this was the first podcast. Yes. And it's a little bit of a different experience, yes, but it's still very much where you came from. So I myself am honored to have been able to be the first guy to do that with you.
Amen.
Because you are what we call an OG in this world. Okay, you're an original gangster.
Oh.
But yeah, it's not old guy. It doesn't stand for old guy.
Dude.
Yeah, no, that's what the young people say. They say OG. It's a compliment. Let's put it that way. Okay, it means you've got some time in the game, and we respect it.
Amen.
We absolutely respect that about you. So thank you for all you've done for San Antonio, for the community, for the Catholic community, and all that. You're a well-recognized figure. And I think people would actually benefit greatly from working with you here in the home buying process. Again, whether you have great credit or whether you have challenge credit, you'll be well taken care of by Richard Reyna. We call him the Triple R.
There you go.
That's his nickname. We're going to have to make you a little...
R cubed? Yeah, whatever.
We're going to have to make you a little... like a little logo
there you go.
For that, right?
Not a bobblehead.
That's right. So if you're watching this and these incentives got your attention, but you know that your credit isn't quite ready yet, don't sit around on that. Go to creditconfidence.club. That's the website, creditconfidence.club, not .com, .club. Okay?
C-L-U-B.
C-L-U-B. And tell us where you're at. We've got a form there that you can fill out. You can read and learn a little bit more about that. We will build a plan around getting you to a closing table on a home like what Richard just walked us through. The deals are real. The homes are real. Let's get you ready for them. Thank you for watching. Thank you again, Richard. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you on the next one.
That's another builder, another community, another step closer to a home that's actually yours. The incentives are real. The homes are out there. The only thing left is your credit. And that's exactly what we fix. Visit creditconfidence.club and let's get you to the closing table.